That's good looking. Perfect. Exactly what I was hoping for. Nice. Howdy folks, welcome to Texas Cooking Today. On this episode, I'm going to be showing you a wonderful recipe. And when we get to the end of this, if you didn't find enough information, the next episode's a full-on tutorial for the same recipe. For now though, let me show you some really good food and how we pull it off. Come on. Today I'm going to be making some Hot Pockets. Now let's get something straight right off the bat. A Hot Pocket is actually a brand name of a product, okay? There is no such thing as an actual thing you make called a Hot Pocket, but what we're going to be making here is basically a savory turnover. Now savory turnover, that's a whole different ball of wax. It's not the kind of turnover that comes in a puff pastry that's filled with fruit or sweet cream cheese. No, this one's a little different. This is a little more sturdy type of dough that works really well for a pocket sandwich, okay? We're making a pocket sandwich, or a turnover, basically is what this is. In Italy, the same thing filled with cheese, so that's a calzone, all right? So I'll tell you what, we're going to be making a really cool product today. These are fun to make, they're easy to make, and a little bit of time involved, mostly with just rising the dough, but after that, it's easy. And I'm going to show you how to use up some of those old ingredients, some of the stuff that's left over after the holidays or whatever. We're going to use all that stuff up. We're going to make some very special pockets that can be reheated and become a wonderful meal tomorrow or the next day. These also freeze well, so something that you can keep for a while. Today, let's make pocket sandwiches. Come on. The ingredients for our dough is really simple, guys. I've got some water, flour, olive oil, yeast, sugar, and salt. It's a very basic dough recipe, and it's one that's sort of a non-fail dough that I go to for projects just like this one. So let's get this stuff mixed together and we'll get busy rising, and then we'll have a discussion about what kind of fillings that we use for this. Now folks, to make a dough like this, start by running your flour in through your sifter. But before you do the sifting, go ahead and add in your dry ingredients. That way you sift it all together and you'll be removing anything from the flour that shouldn't be there at the same time you're getting all of these other ingredients mixed in. Just that simple. Folks, I have sifted together my flour and dry ingredients all here in this mixing bowl. I'm about to add water, the olive oil. I'm going to put the dough hook on there and let this machine do its business for about 5 to 10 minutes. After that, I can take it out and I'm going to rise it in a glass bowl. The dough has finished mixing. It's a nice, smooth, satiny dough, and I have put a little oil in the bottom of this bowl. I'm ready to cover it and give it a rise. Just put this in a warm location to rise, folks. That should take about an hour to an hour and a half on the average rise. The dough is made. I'm just waiting for it to rise. Now in the meantime, what do we put in Hot Pockets? Excuse me. What do we put in pocket sandwiches? Well folks, here's the basic rule to making a pocket sandwich. If it's too juicy, don't put it in there. It'll just mess it up. It'll make it all wet inside. It'll be soggy on the outside, and it will not be fun to eat. Which means certain things like zucchini or, let's say, eggplant, peaches, don't generally work well inside of these things, okay? You don't want anything too liquidy. If you're using cheeses, don't use, let's say, a fresh mozzarella, which would be very loaded with moisture. You want to use a block mozzarella, which is much drier, and it will produce a much better calzone. So you'd use, you know, a block mozzarella with some ricotta, and that makes a fantastic calzone. Okay, so you can get away with some moisture, but not too much. For instance, if you want to make a pizza version pocket sandwich, Let's say you're using some pepperoni and maybe mozzarella cheese, and you want to put some sauce in there. I'm going to say this. If it were me doing it, I'd say don't put the sauce in there. Just put the sauce on the side to dip in. Okay, that will really work better. If you put it on the inside, it may cook out of it. In other words, it may bubble out of the top or make it a wet mess if you use too much of it. So again, avoid liquids. Keep your ingredients dry. Turkey is usually dry enough. Dressings are usually dry enough. You can put all kinds of stuff in these. You can put carrots. You can put broccoli in there. Today, I'm going to be making mine kind of a tamale version. No, it's not tamale. What I have is a bunch of shredded pork that it was flavored with a chili sauce that I used on the inside of my tamales. So I'm going to use that for a shredded pork hot pocket. It's going to be a spicy shredded pork hot pocket with cheese inside of it. So my pocket sandwich is going to be loaded up with pork and cheese, and if I want to dip it in a hot sauce after that, I can do so. This is a good recipe and worth your time. So you figure out what you want to put in yours. It's up to you, and you get to be as creative with it as you would like. Folks, when your dough has risen up like this, punch it down. We're going to roll it out thin. Now what you're looking for is about the thickness of a thin crust pizza, okay? So we're looking for a thin dough on this. To cut the rounds for it, okay, you need to find a round that is the diameter of the half round you're going to want. So something not too big. A pot lid will work, or a small bowl. Either will do fine, you know. Think out of the box for this, what you're going to use for the round on your cutouts. You're also going to need a pan to cook this up on, and go ahead and set that oven at 400 degrees so you can cook it up. Once we've got these made, put them on the pan. I'm going to vent them with a knife before putting them in the oven. I have my little dough rounds all made here. I'm going to take these and we're going to fill 1/2 of them with our fillings. I have some pork filling here and some cheese, and then you want to leave it clear of about 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch to the edge. Okay, so leave that exposed. We will paint this edge, the lower edge, with some water, and once it's painted we can fold the top over and push it together and it will seal. That water will activate the gluten in there and it will cause it to make a wonderful glue that will hold it good and tight. That's all you have to do, folks. It's that simple. Well, there it is. That wasn't too difficult. Let's get it in the oven. There we go. I have that oven set up at 400 degrees. Guys, I've never cooked this one, so I don't know how long it'll take. I am anticipating somewhere in the neighborhood of 20 minutes. I'm going to check it at 15 minutes, look at that crust. If it's not right, I'll give it a little more time. That's really what we're talking about. Everything inside of it is either something that doesn't have to be cooked a lot, or it's something that's already fully cooked and just needs to be heated up. So basically, this is about cooking the crust. Give it time, be patient. Now guys, on that wonderful dough that we made, the ingredient quantities, very simple. This is 2½ cups of flour that we started with, 3/4 of a cup of water, a tablespoon of olive oil, a tablespoon of sugar, 2¼ teaspoons of dry yeast. Basically that's 1 package of yeast if you've got the package, and 1 teaspoon of salt. I'm trying something new. These are the chef's notes, and I thought it would be fun to start sharing my actual handwritten notes with my audience. So I can't vouch for my spelling or the way I write, but here they are, folks. This is my actual notes on when I'm putting together a video like this. This is what I actually write down. So I figured that would be worth your time to look at. We've done a beautiful job on making a wonderful little sandwich. These wonderful sandwich pockets, look at that. With the cheese up inside of it, the meat. I think I need to put a little salsa with this. Very good. So you'll know, cooking time on this, exactly 18 minutes at 400 degrees. I looked at it at 15 and I was like, that's almost perfect. I want slightly more brown, a couple of extra minutes, and we've got really good. So it's not something that takes a lot of time to cook, yet it's awful rewarding. It can be frozen, cooked on any other day, and it's always delicious. Guys, thank you for watching, and if you would, please have a good day. Bye-bye. There it was, folks. A fantastic recipe. Now, I'll tell you what, if you're wondering how to pull any of that off, this next episode is going to be a tutorial on this same recipe, so please take a look. Thank you very much for watching, and if you haven't done so already, well, if you would, please subscribe. I have some great recipes, and if you can't find what you're looking for, well, type it in the comments box. You'll be surprised how many recipe suggestions I fulfill. Thank you for watching, folks, and you have a good day. Bye-bye.